much for clicking on this video. It's lovely to see you. I'm Tiff and this is Scotland, and today we are joined by our tremendous friends Jim and Dylan from...
That's Dylan.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just like
it's actually part of our appearance contract that only we can say fake swords, real feelings. So we're actually from
Fake swords,
real feelings.
See, now we're dealing with professionals. And today we are somewhere a little bit different from our normal videos. We're still in the UK. This is sort of a staycation, but we're actually somewhere completely different. We are in Anvil in Empire Lark. Who wants to do a roundup of Empire Lark?
interestingly enough, this is an actual vacation for us because we're from Ireland.
Yeah.
You're abroad?
Yeah, we're abroad, yeah.
On your holidays?
Yeah. This is actually our holidays.
This is what we actually do for fun.
Empire LARP is an event that's held 4 times a year here in the UK, in the mystical abroad land of the UK, where people dress up as knights, pretend to be wizards, and fight each other with fake swords and do dramatic roleplay things.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I recently learned that the Empire's not actually LARP, it's LRP.
It's LRP.
Live roleplay, yeah.
Live roleplay, it's not live action roleplay because action doesn't need to be a part of it if you don't want it to be.
Yeah.
So,
although I do.
It is something a little bit different. You are camping, you can stay over, you can camp within the story and the world of Anvil, or you can camp separately, but it's a huge setup, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there is. So it's a game essentially, and I think there's at last count 3,500 people playing.
They said they're coming up on 4,000 very quickly, seemingly.
Yeah, and there's probably about almost 1,000 more like volunteers, staff, vendors, everything. So yeah, it's a pretty big operation.
Yeah, so it's like a little town visit back into medieval times, but you've got all the things you would have at a normal holiday. So you've got your entertainment, you've got shows, you've got theatre, you've got libraries, you've got politics, you've got battles, you've got...
Bar fights.
Yeah! And fires, barbecues, singing, everything. There's everything here. Of all the time that you've been coming,
yes,
what would you say have been some of your highlights?
For me, I think just for you, the viewer, when I was like you and hadn't been here before, the coolest thing for me was walking down the street and seeing an actual... Do you guys curse on your channel?
Yes, absolutely.
An actual fucking orc. Just walking directly towards me. Like, straight out of Lord of the Rings. And I was like, that's a fucking orc. And I didn't move out of the way quick enough, and he was just like...
Tumble past you.
And I was like, oh shit, this is cool. So for me, there was a specific moment in tavern where I looked up. We were sitting in a tavern because they have taverns, and I looked up. I was from my drink and made eye contact with an orc, and he was just like, I was like, sorry. And I was like, this is very immersive, isn't it?
Oh, here's the question: how long have you been coming?
This is our third year. Yeah, the end of our third year. So yeah,
seasoned veterans.
Yeah.
Or do you start after post-pandemic?
We literally first event post-pandemic is when we joined.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
How did you find out about it?
It's a very long story, but basically Dylan was getting secret married, and if you get secret married, I was the best man, and I was like, how do you have a stag party for a secret wedding? So I was like, I know, these guys are doing a big medieval thing, I'll just bring him there, and that can be his stag. Go check out our channel. I take a much longer route to get to that point.
But it's not quite as entertaining.
I'll tell you this, I really didn't want to come to this.
Really?
I really was
so against it.
So against it. I had expectations of what it was going to be, much lower expectations of what it was going to be, and I thought it was going to be worse than that. I was not up for it at all. I actually had a ticket pre-pandemic.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then made it like a rolling ticket, and then never went. Pandemic happened, and then blah blah blah. TF's wee sister and her then boyfriend went, and they were like, you need to come. I was like, yeah, I'll eventually come. And then the day we came here, like I was going, I cannot believe I'm doing this. I do not want to be here.
Yeah.
And it basically, as soon as I got here, I was like, I'm never leaving.
What was the barrier for you? Did you think it was going to be cringe? Did you like?
No, I thought it was going to be not immersive like it is. I didn't
scale.
I didn't think it was good. I thought it was just going to be like half a dozen tents, everybody's wear a cloak, and occasionally people hit each other with swords. My first experience of battling was a skirmish.
Oh yeah, it's a proper dangerous skirmish.
A dangerous skirmish, and that was in like my first night. Oh no, that was my second event. The first event I didn't battle at all, but as soon as I battled and as soon as I was here, I was just like, I
This is for you.
love this so much.
I think it's like if you're into like D&D or anything on like general fantasy related, or you like
Even if you just play Skyrim. Or
yeah, or if
something
like, or if you've been a theater kid, or even if you've not, like I think it attracts so many like backgrounds and like walks of life that like you get to dress in cool clothes, you get to walk around,
fashion.
feel great, you get to see everyone else looking cool, you get to like walk through like an immersive. Can't see it, but off camera here, there's an entire tent city just beside us. The immersion really is actually so top tier. Like it's wild.
And I think the thing is, you know, from our channel that we love to get away. We will, at the drop of the hat, we will avoid real normal life at any point. But I can honestly say, at Anvil and at Empire, I find it easier to switch off from work and from normal life here and have a real brain break than I do sitting on a beach or by the pool.
100%.
I almost feel like you don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice. It's
not like-
immediate.
Because if you're on a beach, like, you're still thinking about
Yeah,
that
it's
stuff,
still
you know?
there.
But over here, you sit down and someone's like, I need to go fight some zombies and you gotta come with me. You don't have time to think about real life.
And also, there's no phones.
Yes.
So if you, like us especially, always on your phones, always on emails, the no phone living in the moment thing, I think is amazing.
Yeah.
Right, what I would say is the thing that seals the deal for me with that, absolutely like 100%, I love this, is the first night, the first week, the first event, E1, we were in the Star Bar, and there was it was a wedding and a talent competition. Because obviously, wait, you have a talent competition?
The twin disciplines
Yeah,
of wedding and talent.
And then that was the one where the bride got kidnapped.
Bride get kidnapped because she was supposed to be married the Crimson Reaper.
Yeah. Which are a mercenary group.
Yes, and they've had a tough time of it, but
Yeah.
right. But anyway, we were in the Star Bar. It was when it was there, and nobody was on the phones. Everybody was singing and dancing and laughing.
Yeah.
And I looked around and went, nobody's on the phone. Everybody's
there living
actually
the moment,
doing
like,
this.
yeah.
And I was just like, this is amazing. And
I think my moment of that was like we went to Songs and Stories. So in Empire, there's like 10 nations that form the Empire, and one of them is Navarre, who are basically just wood elves. And they've got a tradition called Songs and Stories, where basically each night they have a huge fire pit, and everyone gathers around to sing songs and tell stories.
It's really cool.
And we went there on our first event, and we were just there, and it was just like, this is the coolest fucking shit.
Yeah.
It's just like people like with actually just like, you know, you're not playing with a backing track. It's not like a karaoke thing. There's no speakers. It's just like you just gotta stand there, project your voice, and sing a song. And it's all like in world. It's not like, you know, someone singing about fucking Skyrim or something. It's actually about like
they're singing about like
the
their
things that
mate who died in the battle yesterday.
yeah,
or
and
something.
it's so real, and it's just
it's something that's really hardcore. Like in the last event, a bunch of the guys from the Brass Coast got killed. A bunch of the Kohan. They died, and then they got what called, it's a mortal wound.
Yes,
Traumatic
like
wounds.
a traumatic
They
wound.
got a traumatic wound and basically were carried off the battle and then executed in their camp to stop them from like dying in pain. And it was so it's
Dramatic,
so hardcore.
yeah.
That's wild.
It's so hardcore.
so we play in Dawn, who are like all about like wearing your heart on your sleeve and everything's big and extra, and so like we'll always have like in what's called the Glory Square, which is like a basically like just huge square where we hold tournaments and things like that. But we also hold funerals there, and they'll just come in like they'll lay all like the
dead bodies out,
like there, and everyone's like
comes out
weeping all over them and stuff like
It's
Drama.
But Dawn is so
drama,
extra, so like you're always getting people like marrying their fallen people, even though they're dead. Like, so you can say true love prevails. And you're like, that's a body. You married a body.
Okay, so obviously we've got loads and loads of highlights, but what would you say to new people who are coming along who've never done this before? What would be your like must-dos that would make things easier and like easier to get into? Or anything you'd bring, or anything you would recommend?
I think the main thing I'd recommend is if you can come to group, it's completely possible to do it alone. If you're doing it alone, reach out to people. The community here in Empire is fantastic.
Second to none. Yeah.
And like, make friends ahead of time. People want that. People will like gladly reach out and like, you know, take on new players.
Yeah.
So come as a group and get involved in things. It's because it's so big, it's very easy for things to just pass you by. And so you kind of have to come with a bit of an attitude of like, I'm just going to get stuck in. And if that's not something you can do by yourself, that's why you have a mate who will kind of just drag you into that a little bit, you know? So I think, just get involved in any way, and people will be able to tell you what's going on.
I ask questions. There's a bunch of Facebook groups for each of the nations, which are Navarre, Wintermark, Brass Coast, Urzen, Marches, the League, the Navarre? No, that's Navarre. Navarre.
You're the one keeping count.
And no.
Imperial Orcs.
Imperial Orcs.
Oh yeah.
Dawn.
Varushka.
Highguard.
And Highguard.
Pretty sure we've doubled up on at least 2 of those. I probably forgot one.
Definitely did better than I did when you put me on the spot for that.
Right, but the point of the story is they're all very different nations, and they all have different looks, and they all have different stories and different backgrounds, and their camps are set up different, and so do a bit of research. I was Highguard when I first came here.
Were you?
Yeah.
I didn't know
You've done
that.
3 different nations.
I didn't know.
Wow.
We're 3 years and we're too scared to move away from Dawn.
Yeah. I'm still on my first character.
I really want to move to
Jim's on his 3rd character. I'm still on my first. So,
I blasted 2 true like this. And then I've been on the 3rd one for a while now. Yeah.
I started in Highguard because all I had was a black tunic and a black cloak.
Yeah.
And that's all I had. So I went to Highguard because I had the outfit for it. But I didn't. I ended up talking to anybody for Highguard. I ended up really loving the look of the League, and I got a League outfit. But then I was in the League the past 2 events, and then all my pals in the Crimson Reapers died, and the Brass Coast people died. I was like, I'm going to move to the Brass Coast.
Yeah.
Also, I sold that black.
You said you sold the whole kit. Yeah. Nice.
That's the other good thing. If you have any kind of entrepreneurial spirit, or if you're a creative, or if you're a singer, a songwriter, you make things, this is the place for you. There is, that is the community in every nation.
We tend to talk a lot about the fighting, but like, last event we went to a panto. Someone's whole game was putting on a panto. There is like musical groups. There's like...
There's full-on
the
bars.
Balls.
And there's ball.
The Dawn, a real highlight for me was that Dawnish ball last event.
Oh, the Glory Gala.
Yeah,
Glory Gala.
we were off doing a really scary thing. We missed that.
Yeah.
But the thing I would say is you can come and do the absolute maximum. You can pack your 3-4 days with events, shows, fighting, theatre, food, songs, stories, performances, barbecues, everything. You can block it out, or you could come, sit in front of your tent and just wash the show, and just have the most peaceful, beautiful, entertaining time.
I would say a lot of people will do that. They'll just be it's called an anvil tourist, where they'll come here and you just exactly like you were a tourist anywhere else, but in this like bizarre fantasy setting instead. You know? Which is wild, because you could be walking along and a fishman would be like, would you like some liao? And you're like, I have no clue what that is.
If there was anything that you do, is there anything that you do every time that you're like, this is a must, this is the Anvil experience for me?
For us, the combat, but there's...
For us, combat is obviously a really big part of it, because that's what initially kind of drew us to, so we always make sure that we try to go out on a few skirmishes and fights if we can. I think... For my first year, I think Songs and Stories would have been that thing I tried to do all the time.
Absolutely, we always tried to hit that.
I think, that's changed a lot. I think because we've gotten a lot more involved in the actual plot and the meat of the game. So we kind of tend to have been really, really busy, and we haven't had as much tourist time. Which I was really looking forward to doing that this event, and then loads of plot came out, and I was like, nope, I'm not going to have a relaxing event. I'm going to be really busy. I'm going to love it, but I'm going to be real busy. I always make a point of, at some point, just when the sun is going down, I'll do a walk around, because it's huge. It's like an extremely...
Acres and acres.
Yeah, acres and acres of this thing. And every square inch of it is filled with something interesting. So I'll always make a point of just doing a walk around the whole thing at least once per game, just to see what's going on in that.
One of my highlights when I do my walk around, I always there's a engraving place.
Yeah.
And the march is called Engraved Danger.
That
Oh,
is
yeah,
so
yeah.
funny.
And every time I see it, I go, I like that. And Grave Danger is just, it's perfect branding.
Just, I saw one. I know I'm just fully advertising in character businesses. But, like, there's a gate.
Plugs.
There's a gate you come through. You go out for fights and you come back through it. And somebody set up a massage parlor next to it. That's called I Need a Hero, but it's like KNEA. So fucking clever.
That's
Come for the holidays,
Isn't
stay
it?
for the puns.
Yeah.
The Central Gate. It's a good, right, so one of the things I will say is battling happens in a field next to the site, and it's called, you go through the Central Gate, and in story you're actually travelling to a different place via that gate.
Yeah.
And it's like a portal basically
Yeah.
to take you where you're going to fight, and that changes every event, and it changes like what's happening. And there's two types of battling. There's the big battles which happen on the Saturday and Sunday morning, and half the nations fight and half the nations pretend to be monsters. It's called monstering, which I did twice last time.
Yeah.
Because I fucking love it. I fucking love it.
Monstering is so much fun.
Yeah.
It's because you don't have to worry about dying. You can just be like,
Yeah, and you're just feeding people like these cool moments where
Yeah,
you go out and you see a big hero and he's got his moment and you're just like, oh fuck you grotty wanker.
and
It's real fun, like.
And then the other thing is skirmishes, which happen with a lot less people most of the time, and they're dangerous and you're much more likely to die. And if you die, if your character dies, your character's
They're
dead.
gone.
And you're dead in real life.
But the thing is, you can act. Some people purposely set out to die to round out the character's story. But last event, the Crimson Reapers, the 6 Crimson Reapers that died accidentally. They just got split off of the group and got killed by Lassambrains.
That's what happened to my first character. I went to save my mate because it was the first time I'd ever been in one of these battles. And I'd only ever played video games, so I was like, this will be easy to save him. It'll be like a video game.
I'll just press X.
And then I went up and I got him up off the ground and he came this way. He went that way and I was like, I did it. I saved him. And then 6 pole arms went in me. I was like, ah! And I fell down and there was like 6 or 7 orcs with pole arms just and as I lay there bleeding out, I was like, it's really easy to die in battle, isn't it?
Also, I should say, none of this is violent. Everyone pulls their shots. I've never done anything like that before, and if I'm fine, you'd be fine.
Like that. It's not, you're not laying into people. Everyone is very careful not to brain each other with them.
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. You can't, like, there will be some instances where someone like myself tries to pull a shot but accidentally
Whip someone.
absolutely leather something with it. Like, the thing is, I had him in the armour. It wasn't as if it was like on bare skin. And I went down to him and apologised and all that. So these things happen.
It happens, but
it's
like
very
everyone's
safe.
cool about
Yeah,
it. You know, you
It's
just go.
theatre. It's theatre. It's not violent.
Exactly. It's much closer to like sport fencing than it is actually fighting with swords.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
like
absolutely.
it's
We should do a last mention on food. For those people who are coming and want to do things as comfortably as possible,
Yeah.
what would be your recommendations about where to eat?
So you have a couple of options. Basically, you can eat in character or you can eat out of character. So basically, just outside the in character area, there's a food court, and it has like crepes, sandwiches, like loaded chips, pizzas, like festival food, anything you can think of. There's like, if you've been to a festival, you know that line of food trucks.
It's here
That's
as well.
here, yeah, with the same prices, right? But if you're feeling a little more adventurous, there are lots of places on the field that will like sell food in character spaces. There's one place, Moorish, which is kind of a medieval tavern, but it's like got actual pub food in it. So you can go in there, you can pay with real money, so like pound, euro, whatever you have on your card. Probably use pound, we're in England.
Well done, Jim.
Wrap this up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's so great to talk to you. We could obviously talk about this all day. If you have any questions about Anvil or Empire Light, leave it in the comments and we will see you in the next video.
Also,
Fix it in post.
Bye.